Alrighty, I'm just gonna do a little bit of session prep before I go to bed. Um, I do have work tomorrow. I gotta get up pretty early, but I meant to come home and do session prep or do it in my truck. But I didn't. I decided to go rock climbing instead because my friends invited me, and it was just a good opportunity. And I honestly needed the break. It's relaxing to just go do something active, get away from in front of the screens for a little bit. Um, uh, I don't know. And I try to make sure I spend like once a day, at least a majority of the day, where I'm not just in front of my phone or in front of my computer or something like that. That's why I like writing my session prep in a journal. Um, I like doing it by hand. It sticks with me better. I will remember better. And it just, I don't know, I get distracted with all the online stuff. Um, I'm taking off my shoes, my feet, believe it or not, from rock climbing. Sore, arms sore, hands yucky. So, um, I don't even know if I need to go into any. I may go into Roll20, may look for some maps, but I don't think I need to do that. So, um, I think we're okay. But let me make sure that my audio's good. Uh, edit, banners, blah, 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 blah. Settings, audio, are we good? Cool. So we're all good to go. Um, Sometimes I just kind of sit here and I spend a lot of time thinking. Like that's a big part of my session prep, but sometimes I need to get stuff down on paper. So this is a lot of what my players have done already. Um, oh, oops. I need to share screen and not share screen, share entire screen. Let's share this one and I'll share. I'm not going to share system audio. It's really just me right now talking, but this is my players. I always like having their HP and knowing passive perception is really, really nice. Um, AC, I don't really need to know. At level 10, I'm like, big things are going to hit you and you're going to hit back pretty hard. So I named the session Nights because I had always wanted to run a session where they were all the same class. It's very fun. It's been a blast, honestly, to do. And they're three different fighters essentially because the fighters have. Is our audio good? I may have lost myself. Oh, I turned it off. So let me check my audio real quick. We're good. Cool, cool. Sometimes I like to listen to some music when I'm prepping, like if it fits the mood. And I gotta look back at where we left off with the session. I gotta look at my notes and my little handbook. Um, So, da, 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 so I did have some stuff left over. I also got my players to send me some of the stuff that they have right now. Where they're kind of at, because it's very helpful. Infinite hands to throw. So, because I was checking with my players, because it is a good rule of thumb, and even just from watching like all Fall other games and a lot of other DMs, it's like I fell into this habit of I always let my players go in fresh. I was always worried, and so I let them go in fresh, and I should have never done that. It was very poor on my end because they're going to trash my boss. One of my players, he shoots from range, it can do over 100 points of damage in a round. Like he dominates damage output, and this is where it's like I have on here an average damage per round is like 160 to 200, and one of that just comes from Brandon. He puts out 100 damage a round easy. He's a battle master, but he thinks his character is smoked. He has maybe one maneuver left because he's a battle master, so they get multiple maneuvers, and he really utilizes them to the full extent. He's very good at doing that, so it works out very heavily in his favor. My brother has no action surges, no lightning breath, 0-second wind. He smoked 5 of his cigarette. I made these cigarettes to give you temporary HP, which is like the opposite of what they do in real life. But they restored this girl that they found that had like her heart ripped out of her, for probably ceremonial purposes for Tulum. They restored the heart. She has an Arab accent, a light tan brown eyes, her hair black in thick braids. Darkness and shadows of the room cling to her. Daughter of the masked Aarons. He's the last of the circle of gray ribbon. He means to cleanse his world into darkness. The blade warm in my brother's hands. Pull at the darkness around the child. I forgot what I initially had in mind with doing that. Could be nothing. But I'll just check Twitch real quick. So all looks good. Well, yeah, I am my own viewer. I don't know why it counts me. Twitch should probably fix that. Like, I need the creator dashboard. Manage stream. That's what I want. Just to check. But so everything looks good. I'm going to copy over, so I don't really need this anymore. We did everything here. Control V. And honestly, a lot of what I do is what the heck? Who's watching my stream? I will look up a lot of, so right now, because of where my players are, I'm trying to get built up for a final combat, and I know they're kind of gassed. I want to give them the opportunity to do probably a little bit of a short rest, get an action surge back, We'll we'll see. We may just go into final combat. Like if they're gassed, it's a good opportunity. I think I'm going to put one obstacle in front of them. D&D challenges. So sometimes I just look up. I like non-combat challenges. I think they add a little life to it, and especially if they're in this giant frozen tower. So there's a lot of things that maybe we could do, and it's a magical tower. The tower came to them because I was trying to wrap this up because I want to go to my next campaign. Um, but I don't really want to do a riddle. I've never found riddles to be great. Um, Non-combat travel and maze challenge. Traveling from one place to the next can be a fun non-combat. A maze is always good. Think of all the wilderness, right? So how do we make that type of non-combat experience fun in D&D? That's the core of it. How do you make it fun? How do you make it dynamic? How do you make it actually feel like a challenge? The big thing is making it feel like a challenge. You can role play this out however you want, and you can have fun in the role play, but you actually make it feel like it was a challenge and worth experience points to your players, and that they actually did something productive. That's the trick with these non-combat things. Actually, the D&D 4e manual has a great little layout for actual skill challenges, which I really like. Um, Players must use information to draw their own map. I've created a free sample. Scroll halfway down. That's cool. I never really thought about this, but it would be cool for them to make the key to open the door. That would be cool. Scrolls need magic ink. Swords are tempered in magic water. Robes are dyed with magic dyes. Liquid's critical. That's true, but that's like true to life as well. Non-combat political challenges, that's fair, but trap challenges are very fun. So traps, I have found they are the most fun when it's not, can you find the trap? No one likes to play Where's Waldo with a trap. Players' passive perception's too high. There's always someone with really high passive investigation. Let the trap be activated, figure out how to get through the trap, or figure out how to deactivate the trap. That's where the fun is in a trap, not in, ooh, I got you, you fell in a pit, unless it's goblins. That's how they roll. But even then, the ooh gotcha is very rare. But the trap of saying, oh, these spikes are going off, you hear them as you're coming up, but it's your only way through into the main chamber. You have to go through it. You either make dex saves or a dex check or an athletics check to get through it, or you try and use some of your abilities, hence resource utilization, to get through it. And just doing that is way more fun, way more dynamic than spending 10, 20 minutes till one of them rolls high enough or something. Trying to hide something like that behind a roll is not fun. Disarming a trap, getting through a trap, way more fun at the table. Um, Save or die experiences. Yeah, I don't do save or die. I do like save or get hurt. Um, because most players are generally pretty smart. All my players are they're tactful, they're fun, they min like some of the min max. It makes it very, very um I have to be very thoughtful in how I do so, because if I just put something in front of them, they'll wipe it. They will wipe it. Um Everyone wants a fair chance. It needs to feel fair is the thing. They and by feeling fair does not mean the same thing as like, oh, it needs to be incredibly obvious. If the players know the rules before going into a skill challenge, if they know what's going to happen in this room or what's going to happen and lay ahead of them, they will be perfectly
okay because they knew what was coming. I typically will tell them, I'll be like, hey guys, prepare for traps next time in the session if we leave off, because I'm like, then they can prepare for it and they know what's coming. They know they may get an gotcha and they may play more cautiously. And it's like, because they're skilled adventurers. And I think there's nothing wrong with telling your players to um, there's nothing wrong with giving your players a heads up, so then they feel like they have a fair chance coming into the session. Dude, hey, how's it going? Howdy, my guy. But and so that's where I think a fair chance needs to kind of be explained a little more. I have found that goes a long way, and just as much as I need my players to let me know what they want to do so I can prepare a session to fulfill what they want to try and do, I need to let them know what some stuff I may be preparing so they can go, oh, yeah, we'll prepare for that and do all that. Um, yeah, I got my session tomorrow. I've just been trying to like finish up this. They're at like the last boss fight. So I'm just like, I want to do some stuff to utilize a little more resource and put them in so they're not coming in super fresh to just trash, the final boss fight. But I don't want to overdo it because they're already pretty gassed. So um, going through a tower. But yeah, what's your game like? How long have you been running it? Dude, are you the forever DM? Okay. I've always uh I played a little bit of Curse of Strahd when I was in um Kansas, and I thought it was super fun. I played uh but I don't think I've ever done stuff straight from book. I should, but the way we got started playing 3 years ago, 2020, it was like uh 4 fellow DMs in the party of 6. Yeah, that would do it. I've been my forever DM because they just wanted to play, but none of them wanted to DM. So it's like, I'll figure it out. I sometimes find having other DMs in the party a little stressful. So they're in an ice tower. And so I've just homebrewed this because I basically ran this whole campaign to try and get better at hammering out higher level combat going into mid and higher level players because they're all level 10 fighters. Um, and yeah, exactly. When you have the DMs in the group, I'm like, oh, but then even though I'm my main party's DM, every time I play, I'm immediately like, why don't ever I do that as a DM? I find new stuff all the time. But no, so this session, I really did this campaign just to hammer out combat and trying to create more balanced encounters. And so I had them be 3 level 10 fighters because we thought it would be fun. Um, and uh, just kind of coming to a town that basically in my world I've made, I created this whole world based on the concept of what if all the monsters that could possibly give you the wish spell just decided they didn't need to really give mortals a wish spell anymore? Like they could just take control. And that's what they're doing. Um, so there's actually a lot of primordial monsters and a lot of uh, celestials as villains, and then uh, but in this in particular, this is like the preface to the world. So at this point, uh, these players have come in after primordials have come in through a planar gate and wreaked havoc upon the world, and my players have come in helping this order of paladins to help clean up some of the broken weave that is causing wild magic surges and to help repair towns as they've kind of like in other areas they're still handling the front lines of combat. They're trying to do almost like a recovery process. So the players have been going with them, but they have found that essentially this sect of Talona fear, because she's the god of disease and all this stuff, she basically has like seen something where she fears that the primordials will bring like this great cleansing and wants to close the gates entirely and try to just shut this down. And so they're in the middle of that process where they're in combat with some of the Talona people, and uh, yeah, they're in combat with the guy that's working for Talona to close the gates, but they don't know that's what he's trying to do because he's gone kind of insane, and he's just going to like hurt a bunch of people, and they're going to close it. Because we kind of thought about ending this with a preface to where some of my players want to be the villains when we get back into the main campaign, following up when this second wave, the gates have been reopened and the players are kind of dealing with the celestial invasion and primordial invasion that has now happened for the second time. So some of them want to like become the villain. So I think some of them are going to get taken by this like curse for Talona, to where they're like trying to take care of her bidding and stuff. So and then one of them, my brother just wants to be a villain. Like, so some of them want to take the path where they want their character at the end of this campaign to basically be like, no, these beings are so strong, I would rather work for them and become really strong, especially with the celestials, and uh, could like grant them whatever strength. And one of them wants to like be on the side of closing the gates and trying to keep all these beings out, and so the players will have a like a 1v1 off screen. We're not gonna like role play that because that's just story stuff. But yeah, it's still all we're like figuring out. We're talking like behind the scenes right now. All that's really happening in the session prep is I'm designing the final combat. Like this entire session is just going to be combat. So that was like a botched version of the big overview because I'm tired. I just came from rock climbing. Um, but this session prep is just focused on I want to put in a little obstacle, uh, and then do one big freaking fight at the end where they're fighting a. It's not homebrew, but like I took a Winter Eladrin as the main villain. He's like the Talona Guardian or whatever, and is he's the big bad, and he's like a ranged fighter. So they're going to be in this big room, and he's just going to be lots of movement, lots of range, and they just got to try and close that gap. Um, uh, so, but that's all we're really trying to do right now. So, like, I'll show you on Roll20 what the map looks like. This is not what I want. I just need normal Roll20. I've been in my brother's campaign, so that's what it just pulled up. I've been playing in his. I'm a Hobgoblin Divination Wizard. that is chilling. Yeah. So tell me about your campaign. I think I'm gonna replace the map. That's what I'm thinking. That one's very nice. Session prep. Yep. Just a little session prep. I don't think you don't meta, so I think you're all good. I'm not worried about you, Brandon. I'm designing a map. I mean, we're going into the final combat. Like this next like tomorrow's going to be all combat. What's the lunch break heroes? I've never heard of that. You roleplay hard, Brandon. You roleplay so honestly. This whole party between you, Eugene, and Connor, you guys roleplay so hard that I don't ever really worry about it. Plus, we're at the point like nothing's hidden at all. Ooh, so like, did you take inspiration from like monsters from the Quiet Place, or like a feel of it? Because sometimes I'll just take stuff off of a feel. But different media, I've been getting so much inspiration from Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate has really made me focus that I need to freaking move my enemies more. I freaking suck at just plopping an enemy and then he just sits there and it's just a bone mash between the players and the enemy. And I'm like, God, that's rough. Um, yeah. Dude, I felt bad that I met it when I was in G's thing when I was like, oh no, mind flayers. I shouldn't have said that. I was so scared, dude. Perfect. Gosh, I'm gonna need more coffee for sure. What's MCDM? Close to the mist, they are going to see that she is an ethereal being, a ghost, the ghost of Lady Lona. Oh, Lady Lona, that's the Mexican folklore, right? Yeah, because she's known as what? She's like the weeping woman or the crying woman historically, in like actual lore and legend, and she's just been known to like bring people to their death. Lady Lona is a very good pick. Oh, my bad. I can't click the damn whatever I want. I'm going to Twitch so I can click this link real quick. Ah, okay. I'm with you. MCDM Productions. Oh, I have been seeing this. Why did I not? I should have known better. I just got shown this. The monster book. I'm very excited for this. This should be cool. That's such a cool looking beholder looking thing. Let me go to creator dashboard. Let me manage stream. I wish I could like a comment. I like all these comments. How much is this going to be? I'm always on the hunt for more monsters. Oh, the Mexican monster. Yes. Okay. My bad. I just downloaded. Oh crap! I shouldn't look at our messages. Drowns kids. Yeah, I'm thinking of the drowning. Um, that encounter sounds fun though. Like it has a lot more life to it. I had my players. They ran into a ghost in this campaign right before they made it to the ice tower, and but I had my players describe to me how they knew it was a ghost. And my brother's very good at that, where I can kind of give him stuff and he'll roll with it. And so I had them decide when I go, well, how'd you know it was a ghost? And he immediately is like, my character would see boom, 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 boom. And then the other players rattled off what they noticed that gave away that it was a ghost, which was a really fun, like, it's where the players got to really be involved in describing what the ghost actually looked like. Um, outside of just me, like what do they look for when they're looking for a ghost? What do their characters look for? Before she herself passed, she created statues that were meant to guard what was left of the village. That makes sense. Strahd would never guess a riddle. I do like the thought of like Strahd made it through the gates though, and they put this riddle he can't solve, and he's just sitting there and he's like thinking about it for a long time. He pulls up a stool. He's like, damn. It's like when Gandalf can't guess the word friend in Elvish. That's so cool. I want to be better at making magic items. I'm slowly hammering away at stuff I want to improve on in D&D. Oh, that's actually really good. That makes a lot of sense. Dude, hit me with the riddle. I'm Curse of Strahd's super cool. I think it was very fun when I got to play through a little bit of it. I would totally play again. And I love the creep factor of it. I'm gonna show your riddle as a lower third. Ice Storm. I like this map better. It's a cool map. Us. Big map. Good map. Very good. Lock position. Perfect. Let's go back to tokens. We can put our boy up on the throne. These dudes hiding around the corners. Now we can actually turn the grid back on. Uh-oh, I added him. My bad. Damn. Quit that. It don't need to be that dark. That should be good. Good enough. Ka-chow. Put him right there. The boys. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, sore. But yeah, I can't believe you're still awake, Brandon. Oh wait, I think you're behind. You're not ahead of me. You're behind me. Yeah, I'll be up to like 10:30 doing this. I just wanted to change the map, and I wanted to put one last little obstacle in front of you guys. Not a combat, but just a little skill challenge before you guys make it into the big boss room, and then kind of have stuff ready in the boss room to really make it much more dynamic. I've been feeling like I need. Baldur's Gate's been so helpful in thinking about movement, and even when I was sitting there with G talking about the Hydra combat, I was like, movement. I need to move. Like, we can't just do a bone mash. It's not. It's not that great. It's not epic. Um, I once I saw that you guys were gassed, I'm like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go in for it. I don't need to give you guys because I was afraid I was going to have to do a little bit of combat, and then I'm like, nope, you guys are gassed. We're going for it. You know. Um, I think this map's a lot better. This is a cool map, so I think I'm going to have it that I'm going to somewhat ignore these. Okay. This is just a cool looking map. And really, you shouldn't. I think as a good DM, you should be moving your enemies, and I've just been poor at it. Like, because the reality is, stuff doesn't sit there and get hit. Oh no, you're all good. I understand. Um, yeah, I found this one. It's a good one. I've been jealous. My brother picked great maps on his thing. I'm like, oh my god, his maps are so good. They were beautiful. Um, hmm. I need the drawing tool. I need to draw. I need the rectangle. And we're just going to make it like pure black. To basically say this area. Maybe we can make it. This one's good, I think. Um, it's doing it for me. I want to mark an elevation change. Bam, bam. Cool. Yeah, I think they were great. My elbows are tight. I rock climbed tonight, Brendan, and I'm feeling it. It was my second time the rock climb. It was so much fun. I think I'm just gonna ignore those. We'll just ignore them. Let's turn the lips. Let's make them black and black. And ooh, that's 3/4 cover right there. Well, it's like if you're smaller, it it is a lot easier, but also like I don't know, it's like forearm and a lot of core. It's a ton of it's core. You got to use your whole. It's a whole body thing. Probably not Discord right now. Also, I just don't really use it. Um, uh, if we keep being on here and we keep talking and it's cool, yeah, that'd be great. Because I think we're gonna stream our session tomorrow. We're gonna stream this Final Combat and see how it goes. So um, you're the first person other than my friends on Twitch to actually like hang out. So it's been really cool to hear what you've been working on too. That's one of the reasons I started this was just like I was gonna play Baldur's Gate and compare it with D&D, and Brandon was like, "Dude, you should stream it." And so we were already using StreamYard uh, to communicate because Roll20's kind of was dookie for us when it came to actual like communication and seeing each other in voices. But StreamYard works really well. And then I was like, oh, I can just stream from StreamYard since like it's all on my PC. Thanks for understanding. I'm not trying to be a hater, my guy. I should use that one, but I think the all blue is good. See you tomorrow. Thanks for hopping on. I really appreciate it. That would be super cool. When we play in person, I love when my players come in. They go, every time my character does this, I imagine this song. I'm like, dude, play it when it happens. Because one of my players plays an Araka, and so he has a song he likes to play whenever he like flies. That's super cool. I need to figure out how to do more audio stuff on Roll20. I don't really utilize it. We just talk and we've just, I think, gotten used to like the silence. I think they listen to music like on their own individually, and then I don't, because I gotta try and listen to what's going on. But in person music always, it creates the moment. Challenge player, challenge character. I like that. Yeah, so we'll be doing stuff on Roll20. We'll be playing on Roll20, and then we use StreamYard for communication. I didn't see where the riddle was. I didn't. The riddle never came through. I got. Would you like to hear the riddle? And then you are working on art recoloration. Let me go and check on Twitch and see if it came through on Twitch. No, it says the same thing. Ah, there it is. Came through now. In Chapel Old, a hidden door you find. Unlock its secrets, a riddle entwined. Strahd's army once, her path was bound. Guarding now the habit's grace. Speak the dawn's God, the door will embrace. Answer true, let it ring through. The path revealed, the way in. The dawn's God. Crap. Why am I blanking? That's honestly a really, really good riddle. Are you going to? I don't know how you do yours. Are you going to have it where your players can actually read the riddle? The thunder. There we go. It's the Dawn's God is like, I feel like the biggest help. The rest of it is just such great flavor, and it fits everything you've built. You know, and it flows really well. Did you come up with that on your own? Because it flows amazing. Like that's a real riddle. It's really good. Ah, dude, clutch. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so boss room. I really have made it to the point that sometimes I just use bullet points of what's going to happen. So my friends just posted in they texted our group chat about what was it? It was why am I forgetting her name? It's something Day, where she found out in Baldur's Gate you can do wield salami. Is clutch. I'm gonna put that up. In Chapel All the hidden door you find. Felicia Day. Yeah, she was playing Baldur's Gate 3 and she found out you can dual wield salami. It does bludgeoning damage. I keep reading the Habit's Grace as the Hobbit's Grace, but I think it's like I've been really dying to see Lord of the Rings again. Very cool. Clue, trigger, danger. Very nice. Make a key for the door. So, this is where I kind of look up stuff that's like Talona DnD. Talona's a cool god, mother of all plagues, mistress of disease. But I will look up anything that's relevant. And this is what they're fighting, the plague rats. I forgot their name, so it's good I looked her up again. Now I want to do a riddle, but freaking I can't do riddles. GPT would be good though. Basically a wash bowl, we'll call it a cleansing bowl. Alter the liquid black and murky. So Guess plague. Probably a medicine check. I think it would be cool to have them get through this door where they have to almost, because she's the goddess of like disease, it would be cool for them to sit with this. The way you get through is to actually like cleanse this bowl. Like you cleanse the bowl from this liquid, black, murky substances filled with its own. It's just a poison in itself. Um, and then correct antidote guarded by ice spike trap. Athletics check. And then, and I always do it kind of like, I really like these situations where it's like, oh, you have to pick the right antidote. And then I do like the Indiana Jones thing, and there's like 3 of them there, or there's like 50 bottles, and it goes, well, which one of these liquids is the right liquid? And it goes, well, if we know what it should be, then we have to go off smell, um, color, consistency, and all that kind of stuff, which might be pretty fun to do. Guarded by ice spike trap. The ice spike trap is just there. It's like it's just constantly moving magical ice spikes in this magical ice tower that they just have to maneuver through. But they're fighters; they'll be fine, unless they roll in that one. It's just there, or below a 10, really. Uh, um, I always sometimes kind of forget what to do certain D&D describe skill checks. Like, to know how it works. And I always fall on the fact of, even on like skill checks and doing things, I never go off the normal what the DM guide tells you, because the DM guide is like, this DC sits at a medium, is like players will succeed maybe 50% of the time. I'm like, my players are heroes. They're meant to know what they're doing. I think if the rogue is only succeeding 50% of the time, I'm like, that's kind of a shitty rogue. You know? I'm like, I would rather them succeed like 70, 80% of the time, and then that 20% where they fail, it's like, oh man, that was just a fluke. That was just bad luck. That was a bad day. Like, it has a little more meaning and weight when that failure actually occurs, because it's like, damn, this doesn't happen all the time. Like, this must have been really difficult, versus if it's like 50-50, every time you send your rogue up, you're like, the barbarian's ready to go. Because they just lose faith. And then if your barbarian's a 50-50, Lord, sucks. List. I just need a list. check measures lore about terrain, plants, animals, other. Okay. And then medicine or diagnose an illness. Survival. Interesting. Guess it's just investigation. I think you could go either way. Nature or medicine. I think all of those are valid checks in this situation. I think athletics or acrobatics works. And then followed by, you know, antidote, guarded by ice spike trap, picking the antidote is, again, investigation, nature, or medicine. I always give a variety. Now, if they do straight investigation, that will probably be the easiest roll. That will probably have the easiest DC. Doing a nature or medicine is like a secondary, or if someone wants to assist using a nature or medicine check, I will do that. I let my players do, if they want to assist. I don't like the help action to where it automatically gives advantage. I like the system of, well, how do you help? And you can't help. It's something you're not proficient in. Like if you're not proficient, you can't help. But if you are, you can make a roll and see if you're actually helpful in this instance. And so if they succeed, they get like a +5 or +2 versus straight advantage. And I like that system a little more. It actually takes away from just the mechanical aspect of helping, gives it a more role play aspect. It goes, well, how do you help? What check do you want to use to help the player? You don't have to do another investigation check. You could use nature, you could use medicine, you could use these other checks to support an investigation roll depending on what it is. So it's really depends on the situation, but I like having a primary check and then secondary checks that can be used to assist or can be used to determine like the right answer or whatever, but there may be a little more difficult. And so, and then on turn 20 of every round, layer action. D&D layer actions list. I think this is a great time for layer actions and all that kind of stuff. Ooh, a layer action generator. These are fun. I like that a lot. That's really cool flavor. That's straight out of Divinity 2. It's one of like my favorite abilities to use was to do the chain of agony or whatever, and you chain yourself to the enemy, and whatever damage you take, they take, and it makes all enemies not want to attack you, but you can attack that guy and you don't take the damage back. Um, ice layer actions. Freezing fog. Oh yeah, why don't I just look at the Dull White Dragon? I'll steal some of his layer actions. The fog spreads around corners, and its area is heavily obscured. Each creature in the fog when it appears. A DC 10 Constitution saving throw is great. This is not meant to be the killer. This is just meant to be annoying. It's going to keep the players moving, and that's what I like about it. I think we'll take all of these. Because I like they only last one round. So let's write down those layer actions. And let's get them to like fit. Here. And I'll probably just have this up while I'm DMing. Like, it's just nice to have there, but just giving a layer action, giving something more to this big bad, but it may also alter the fact of how am I really going? Do I need these extra guys here if I'm using layer actions? How strong should they be? I don't know. We'll feel it out. Let me go back and see how much health they have. I know they have healing potions, so they may heal before going in. $85 health. Peltier, I think, is good on health. And then, yeah, I think that works great because I need to go back and look at the Winter Eladrin that I homebrewed or that I altered. It is homebrewed, but it's like it's a Winter Eladrin. I just spiced him up a little bit, and by a little bit, maybe a lot. Did it not save? Oh my gosh. Crap. It's because this thing updated, I think. Um, did it though? I feel like it was one of these down here that I had used. Well, I gotta make them again. Gosh darn it. I'll turn all these on. And see if it's in here. Or if it just got completely wiped. Yep, completely wiped. That sucks. Alright, let's reset everything. And we're going to homebrew this Winter Eladrin because he's cool. Or did I have it on D&D Beyond? Alright. Damien Riker. Because I like that name. Or can I make him like a 15? He's medium, any size, 30 feet. All this stuff's fine. So 20, 20. Proficient. And then I'll make him proficient in perception. So his AC is fine. My players do on average 200. I want him the last 3 rounds. We're going to give him 600 hit points. Conditions. Armor class drops to 16 if he takes fire damage. Which I think is a good reward. Like he's all ice, hit him with fire, drops his AC, makes him easier to hit. Three attacks. And I always do the formula straight from the dungeon dudes. I like their formula. I look at my players' HP, and I do 25% of the total party hit points. So we have 107 plus 105 plus 86. 86 times 0.25 is 75. So I need to do 75 damage a turn and just normal attacks and whatnot. So that would be, I hate that that's a +4. What is he using to hit? +7? This is where I'm like, we're going to do, I just give him the same to hit with all his weapons. It makes things easier. So 4, 17 times 3, that's 51, and 7, 20 times 3, 60. So we're in ballpark of damage. I like this damage output. He is going to get legendary actions. So just attack. We're just going to give him DnD level 1 ice spell. Or like a cantrip. Ice cantrip. That's what I want. Ice cantrip. Make a ranged spell attack on a hit 1d8. Increases to level 5. Yeah, we'll do 3d8 of Ray of Frost. It just fits Frost. No, we'll just do a bow attack. It could be a bow or attack. Legendary action. Misty. One action. Misty step, or in this case, face step or whatever. Oh, no problem. I don't know what you're thanking me for, but you're welcome. We're just kind of chit-chatting. I'm like, I'm having to remake my villain. I had him on here and he got wiped, but it's okay. Face step. 2 actions. Yeah, it's just it's a it makes it a little bit easier to read. Yeah, I found that out the hard way. Sometimes I say stuff and then they're like, we didn't get all that, but maybe that's because we drink when we play. I like that we're both session prepping. Like that's why I'm doing this, because I feel more motivated when I have someone else with me. Because the hardest part for me is getting started. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed and I get writer's block and stuff. So just having someone there, having something like this that keeps me doing it, puts it in front of me to really be involved and delve into fleshing it out, it's nice having the accountability and having people like you that come along and like it's very inspiring hearing about what you're doing and what you're prepping. That gives me a lot of motivation, honestly, because like your stuff's so good. It sounds like it's going to be super fun. I don't think we need that. I think these two legendary actions are enough. Um, so does he have a reaction? Or is it just legendary actions? Boom. Let's go ahead and give him legendary resistance. If the Damien Riker, that's right. I don't think he needs this. I utilize it. I don't think I'm going to utilize it again. Um, 3 actions. Because I think this is honestly pretty strong. Like DnD Winter Eladrin. Um, I'd rather put it in here because of all the extra stuff we've added to it. We'll do 3d10, which would mean it's 3. 30. Makes that a 16. So, um, I think we will save, and then we are all good with, like, I think he's flushed out, he's good. And then really we're just going to riff a lot tomorrow because that's what we always do. Bestiary. Not an ad. Why did they ruin this? Go away. Awesome. Then the last thing I'll add is really coming from making the legendary resistance something that is like seen in the room, not just he has it innately. DC 15 is a solid ice door, like a door of ice. Hmm. Hey, what are those things called that I was using? Poison. Poison's underrated. There's a cool monster that's like low. It's like an orc thing. It's not quite that. It's, what are they called? Not you. You're too mean. It wasn't like that. They're not that strong. That is Orc Nurtured One. I love these dudes. They're not here to do anything uh, than to try and inflict poison damage. That's it. That is it. It's status effects. That's all I want them to do. And these are the only bad guys I will have. Save. All right, with that, we're going to leave up there. I got to get up for work pretty early. But I think we will be okay. You know. So, but thank you for hopping onto the stream. It was very nice chatting and doing session prep, and I appreciate all the comments. It was a ton of fun. So, with that, I will hopefully see everyone tomorrow.